Hey, how you doing? My name is Diane and this is How to Train Your Caterpillar, a spiritual life coaching channel. You are very welcome here. Thank you for checking out the channel and the video. This video is going to be about toxic shame, which is a video someone asked me to do it months ago and I'm finally getting around to it. It's going to be about like why, well, a little bit about why it develops, but like how to know if it's something that you're dealing with and how to get rid of it, more importantly, right? Because that's the important thing, how to get rid of it. So before I get into it, I just want to say, like, again, thank you for checking out the video. Hopefully you'll find something in it that you enjoy, and hopefully you'll find something in it that's useful and you'll enjoy it. And if that is the case and you feel like liking and subscribing for me, I would appreciate that very much as well. I actually tried to do this video yesterday. Like, I spent the whole day, yesterday was the new moon, and I spent the whole day trying to do it yesterday, but unfortunately, like, when the new moon happens, like, my perfectionism kicks in, and I'm not flexing here, like, perfectionism's like not like a flex, it's like, it's not good enough, right? And then it ended up just deleting what I'd done. So yeah, like, perfectionism, yay. It's actually something I'm going to talk about in this video though, perfectionism. I also tried on like a million different outfits today as well, because like it's kind of hotter, so like I can't wear long sleeve stuff, so it's like trying to find something that like you don't look hideous on camera. Like, it's true what they say, like the camera adds 10 pounds. Like, I can see now why, like, people that are on screen all the time like get worked on and stuff, because it's difficult when you see yourself on camera and you're like, ugh, oh my god, like my arm looks so fat and gross. But anyway, so toxic shame. Toxic shame is something that starts in childhood. It can start for a few different reasons. You might have suffered a bit of neglect, there might have been abuse, you may you may have been around a lot of critical adults. It can start in different ways, but it is an issue that starts in childhood. In my experience, anything that blocks like the root chakra, like a permanently blocked root chakra or a sacral chakra, it usually starts in childhood in my experience. Not always, but usually. So basically, toxic shame or chronic shame, whatever you want to call it, it's a constant feeling of worthlessness basically, that you carry with you all the time. Like, normal shame is, maybe you did something wrong and you get the guilt about it, right? You feel ashamed. That's not what toxic or chronic shame is. Like, this is a feeling of not being good enough, feeling ashamed, feeling like worthless, like feeling inherently worthless and like filled with self-hate and self-loathing, like all the time. Just a chronic feeling of being ashamed of who you are. It can show up, so it shows up as, like I was saying, a sense of worthlessness that permeates your entire being. It shows up as a guilt complex, like feeling guilty all the time. It shows up as, chronic shame, like feeling ashamed of yourself and who you are all the time. It can also manifest as like being an overachiever, perfectionism, being a workaholic, being a people pleaser, because you're trying to show your worth, basically. Like that's why it shows up as like perfectionism and overachiever, like you're trying to prove your worth. Also with the perfectionism thing, it's like I was saying earlier, nothing is ever good enough, right? Because you just feel like, because you lack that kind of self-validation, it's just like, you have a very critical view of like everything that you do, which usually is something like I've worked on it a lot, but it's something, like I said, on the new moon or like the full moon, or when I'm feeling very sensitive, it will rear its head. So that's why, like, yesterday was just a write-off. I don't even know why I try and do things during the new moon. I should just write it off and just be like, today's a pizza day. today's an Xbox and pizza day, and like watching crap on like Amazon or Netflix or whatever. But it can also show up, you know, like the workaholic thing. Again, it's kind of trying to prove your worth, you know what I mean? And the people pleasing thing, like trying to prove your worth. So that's how it shows up. And like this feeling of worthlessness, the reason that you have that along with this toxic shame is that, you know, I have lots of videos about the chakras, so if you want to know more about what I'm about to talk about, feel free to check those out if you want. But there are 7 main chakras. Like you have the root chakra, like the red one, and around about your stomach area, the second chakra, like about your belly button, is an orange one called the sacral chakra, or sometimes it's called the navel chakra, and it's blocked by guilt and shame. So this is the chakra that is responsible for self-worth. So if you're constantly carrying feelings of guilt and shame just about who you are as a person and everything you do, this chakra is going to be permanently blocked until you deal with it. So you're going to have like this inherent feeling of just worthlessness and self-hate. Which also means that you're unable to validate yourself, so you're looking to other people, you know, to, you know, like give you self-worth, right? Which they can't do that. No one can do that but you. But you'll find plenty of people willing to take advantage of the fact that you're looking for that, right? So you probably find yourself in a lot of codependent relationships where you're kind of, you know, giving a lot and trying to get validation from this person, and they know exactly what's going on and they're not going to give you the validation, but they're happy to take from you because it makes them feel good, or they get stuff from you or whatever, right? If you suffer from toxic or chronic shame, you will very, very likely find that you've had many relationships, like friendships, work, whatever it is, with like in a codependent relationship, right? Possibly like narcissists, sociopaths, whatever. So yeah, it can lead to, you know, this constant feeling of like just not feeling good enough all the time, like disliking yourself, self-hate, lack of self-worth, not feeling good enough, right? So like I said, you're constantly trying to prove your worth by like, you know, working all the time and like trying to people please and like being a perfectionist and being an overachiever kind of thing. But it's, you know, it's really a problem if it's, I mean, obviously all of that is a problem in itself, but this sacral chakra thing being blocked is a real issue, you know, for a lot of different reasons. Like for one thing, it can lead to addictions, like if your sacral chakra is always blocked. And the thing is, because it's from childhood, you will have had it blocked since you were a kid, right? So you may find that if this is resonating with you, you may find that you've had, you know, you're prone to addictions, you have an addictive personality, like whether that's cigarettes or alcohol or weed or junk food or working, like being a workaholic, right? It might be something, because that tends to be a thing with the sacral chakra. Like if it's blocked, it can lead to addictions. I think it's for a couple of reasons, because obviously the self-hate thing, you know, if you don't like yourself and you don't feel like you have any self-worth, then you're almost like constantly trying to escape yourself, like with the addictions. The other thing is, I'm trying not to jump around too much, but it just, I say it as it comes. The sacral chakra deals with joy, right? So if your sacral chakra is blocked permanently, you're going to find it very hard to find any sense of joy, you know, in day-to-day life. And I think part of the reason people turn to like alcohol or drugs or cigarettes or junk food or whatever it is, or even like playing the Xbox obsessively, anything like that, is because you're trying to find joy, right? Because this is like your natural, like you should be able to create your own joy, like if your sacral chakra is flowing freely, but you can't do that if it's blocked. So you're kind of looking externally for joy, right? And obviously, you know, with addictions, you know, it's a fleeting joy. You know, you get like a little bit of a hit for a while and then it goes back to like even feeling more worthless than before because you now have this addiction. You're like, oh my god, like I hate myself but I can't quit. It can also, I don't know if YouTube will flag this, I might have to cut this bit out, but it can even lead to being suicidal, like this feeling of self-hate, this feeling of self-loathing, like this inherent feeling of worthlessness that you're carrying around can lead to feelings of like not wanting to be here. You know, so it's really, really important that you deal with this, that you recognize that you have it and you deal with it. I'm going to put a picture of something up here called the Hawken Scale of Consciousness, which basically it kind of puts, like every emotion vibrates at a certain level, right? So some emotions like vibrate very high, like joy for example is very high, but you will notice, excuse me, guilt and shame are literally the two lowest emotions that you can be in. Lower than apathy, lower than anger, lower than grief. So it's really like you can raise your vibration as much as you want. You know, you can like work on yourself as much as you want, but you're probably going to find that until you deal with this core issue, you're going to really struggle to like keep your vibration high permanently, if you see what I mean. Like it's always going to be something that rears its ugly head, unfortunately. The other thing is as well, toxic shame, emotions don't leave the body, right? If emotions are not expressed, they just kind of show up in like diseases in the body. So if you're not dealing with this shame, this chronic shame and guilt and self-loathing that you're carrying around, it's going to show up as like some kind of, it's going to manifest as some kind of disease in the body, right? Like that's what stuck emotions do. And the thing is, the sacral chakra is the chakra that deals with emotions. So when it is blocked, you are unable to feel your own emotions, right? You really struggle to even identify them. It's almost just going through life like being a robot. You know, there's no joy. It's very difficult for you to express yourself because you don't know what you're feeling, right? You just like, you know, like a robot. So you'll struggle to express yourself creatively, like in, I don't know, any kind of art, like writing or singing or dancing or painting or whatever it is that you want to do, because these are expressions of the soul. You know, the sacral chakra is often called the seat of the soul. Like, so if you're unable to express, you know, joy or like any emotions that you're feeling, like or who you are as a person, it's basically you're just squashing down who you are as a person, you know. So it's going to be very difficult for you to express yourself creatively. But yeah, like these repressed emotions, they're just going to show up as like diseases in the body. So there's so many reasons that you really should be working on this, like once you've identified that you have it. Because, you know, apart from anything else, if you're going through life hating yourself and seeking validation elsewhere, you know, you're not going to attract the right kind of person, because decent people don't want to take advantage of that, you know. But it's almost like a beacon for like the messed up weirdos and like the sharks that want to take advantage of you, you know what I mean? It's like, ah, cool, like a victim. Excellent. You don't like yourself, you're looking for validation from me? I can use that, I can work with that. Let's see what I can get from you, right? So, you know, it's really important to deal with this. So obviously, you know, I keep talking about the sacral chakra. You know, if you're resonating with all of this, then you need to work on your sacral chakra. That's what I would do first. So there's lots of different ways to do that. If you want to know more about that, you can check out, I have specific videos on all the different chakras. But the way that I usually do it is sound healing. I love sound healing, it's like my thing. I'm kind of obsessed with it. I just think it's amazing. Like, it's so easy to use, and it's, you know, I don't know if it's free anymore, because the one that I use is like an 8-hour one. I'll leave the link in the description box, and if I don't remember, someone please remind me. It's just like all the chakras correspond to a certain frequency. So you can play a certain frequency and it will balance the chakra, right? So you can, they're supposed to be free, right? You can put on like an 8-hour one overnight, and also it gets past the the conscious brain giving it, this doesn't work, you know, because that's what my brain does, like, this doesn't work, why are you even trying, this won't work. But if you're asleep, it can't do that, right? And then, you know, just like if you put it, you know, if you put it on overnight, you're going to feel a lot better in the morning, okay? But the thing to remember is it didn't get like this overnight, so you're not going to be able to fix it overnight, okay? So don't get frustrated if, you know, you've been listening to like a frequency for like a week or 2 weeks and you feel like nothing's happening. Just stick with it, okay? Because think about it, this is like childhood programming. Like, this is why they teach children like the alphabet, you know, when they're like 5, because it stays with them. Because little kids are like little sponges, you know, they absorb everything that's going on around them and it stays with you. Like, if you try to teach me something now, you know, you're gonna struggle because I'm probably gonna have forgotten it next week, right? Like, did we learn that? I don't know. What did I have for breakfast today? I don't remember. But little kids absorb it, right? So this is something that you carried with you for like however many years old you are, insert here. So you're not gonna fix it overnight. So please be patient with yourself and please be patient with the process. And you may find that it's something that you struggle with always, because I still struggle with it. Like I said, it gets me when I'm feeling tired or when it's like a new moon or a full moon. Generally I'm okay, but it's still something I have to work on, even though I've been working on it for a long time. But you might just, you know, you can make it a lot better, okay? But it might just be something that rears, you know, you think you fixed it and then it might be something that rears its ugly head, like occasionally or something like that. It might not, but you know. So yeah, back to the frequencies, you can put it on overnight, you know, and it takes like next to no time in your day. The thing is, like, YouTube have started kind of stopping videos after a certain amount of hours if you don't have YouTube Premium. But you know, not that I'm saying you should get YouTube Premium, but you know, I think it's like £11 a month or something like that, and I don't know, I feel like maybe it's worth it. But you can use different ones, you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be like the one that I link, obviously. And there's different ways that you can balance the chakras. Like, you can use frequencies, you can use food, you can use different forms of sound healing, you can use meditation, you can use affirmations. But definitely work on your sacral chakra, because that's where all this stuff is being stored, like this shame and guilt, you know. Also, working on your inner child will help, because there's like a little lost inner child somewhere inside of you that still thinks it's a bad kid, or, you know, is still seeking that approval or whatever it is. So working on your inner child is going to really help. So obviously, again, you can do that in different ways. You can use meditations, you can use, I think there's frequencies for that too, because there's frequencies for everything. Affirmations. The sacral chakra is associated with the inner child. So working on the sacral chakra will help your inner child. Also, you can work on your heart chakra. Specifically, you can work on your high heart chakra, because there's 2 chakras in your heart space. There's the green one, which is like the 5th, 1, 2, 3, 4. The 4th one, the 4th chakra, and it's green. But there's also the high heart chakra, which is often known as the 8th chakra, and it's pink. And that is related to the inner child, so you can try working on that. You could also, you may find it beneficial to work on your heart chakra in general, because the heart chakra deals with unconditional love. So when you feel unworthy of unconditional love, the heart chakra gets blocked. So, you know, with this toxic shame and the guilt, at some point you've kind of learned that you're not worthy. However it came about, parents, siblings, teachers, I don't know, it came about some way in your childhood, but at some point you learned that love was not unconditional, right? So that might be something else to work on your heart chakra. You may also, like, if you're resonating with what I've said in this video, you may benefit from checking out the empath videos, because you may also find that you're an empath, okay? So that is the video. I'm going to leave it there. I hope you found it useful. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for me if you feel like doing that. I would appreciate it very much. And as always, I wish you many blessings. Love and light. Take care.